Welcome. Good to see you all. We're going to try to get this thing started pretty quick. If you're wondering where you are, you're at the final presentation night of Planapalooza that's been going on since late last week. And we'll have a continuation process beyond this point. Tonight is where our consultants will share with us the visions that we help pull together and a lot of ideas that have come from the citizens in this process. My name is Nat Tupper. I'm the Ymth Town Manager, and I welcome you back for this event. I'm going to very quickly turn it over to Brian Wright, who is our lead person on this consulting team from Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative. He brings his team, and I'll let him do his own introductions of those folks, but they've been great. I did want, however, to give a little shout out to a few folks before we get started. I want to thank the members of the Comprehensive Plan Implementation Committee, whose names may appear up here, I'm not sure. But Lynn Seeley, Mary Williamson, Sarah Whitty, Solveig, who has a last name, Matt Schumacher, Amy Aldrich, and David Kitchen have all been terrific in bringing this along. And Solveig, if you want to get up and shout your last name, I'll let you do it. Begins with an M. All right. I also want to thank the Latkin, Everts, and Pappas families who opened up their homes and accommodated our guests, our consultants, for the week. And they've been very generous, and it's been wonderful. And I know that you appreciate, and I certainly do, all the folks who donated food. Particularly people from Pat's Pizza, from Clayton's, fantastic chocolate night. If you missed it, you're sorry. Kama Sutra, Hannaford's, and Rosemont in particular, as well as Vanessa and all the team that helped pull this thing together. So I thank them, and I turn this over to Brian.
Okay, so the other night at the interim pinup, for those who weren't there, we actually started 4 minutes early. So you'll have to forgive us tonight while we were making sure we had the final touches on the presentation. What I want to do is, first of all, echo all the stuff that Nat just said. It's been amazing being in town with you guys this week, and you've made us just feel so welcome. My presentation just died before I started, so that's good. But we have had a blast here and had all kinds of really nice people helping us out all week long. Can I get Kara to come up here to the front and sit down, please? I need you to do something. And then you can get out. Okay, so what we're going to do is not spend too much time going over the things we've done so far. Do we have some new people who've not been here? This is our first event of the Planapalooza? Okay, there's a few. So we will, I'll reference back to things, and if you have any very specific questions about it, and I've just taken something for granted, feel free to ask that. But as I go through this presentation, it's called the final presentation of the Planapalooza, but really it's just the end of this portion of our work. We're going to now go away after we get your comments and your feedback tonight, and then assimilate all of that and work on the next phase of the project. So if anybody's really anxious about that, don't be. This isn't your only chance to say what you want, but we really do need you to still give input at the end of the presentation. So thanks to everybody who's hosted us, thanks to all the people who've given us food, and thanks to all of you who participated so diligently. I feel like I'm at home because I know so many people now, even by first name, and I'm terrible with names. So let's get started. We're going to do something a little different tonight, something we've never done before. We're actually going to start off with a movie. Now the thing you can't hear is the audio, which is really interesting. It's only 2.5 minutes, so bear with me. But keep in mind, we're talking about Route 1, and we're talking about Hillside Street. So you've got Goofy here, and he has, this is what they call Mr. Wheeler. This is Mr. Walker. Okay, so Mr. Walker goes through downtown, and he's looking around, and then, I'm not going to narrate, but I think, just keep watching. It's much funnier with the audio. I told you it's the first time we've done this. Next time we'll have speakers. So he's just run into one of his relative Mr. Wheelers. And there he is again. Boom. This was put out before the video game Frogger, actually, so I think it may have been the inspiration for it. But we've seen people doing this on Route 1. Walking around, trying to cross Route 1. And we've heard about the stories of the Mr. Wheeler and Mrs. Wheelers who fly down Hillside Street. Future Mr. Wheeler. And then he retreats to the safety of his automobile. The narrator says, where Mr. Walker then becomes Mr. Wheeler. I used to live in Washington, D.C., and that's the way you do it. Move it. Roadhog. That's what he's saying. So, anyway, you get the idea. This was inspirational for us. Our transportation engineer shared it with us, and we thought it was really funny, especially with the sound, and wanted to share it with you guys. So what we've been doing this week, besides just watching cartoons, is spending a lot of time trying to get to know this town, because most of us on the team are not from around here. And so we want to know what we need to, all the important things to know about Ymth before we started the process. So we started with a bus tour, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and the participants who gathered on the school bus thought that they were going on a tour of Route 1, and then we got off the bus. I said, okay, the tour starts now, and you're the tour guide. Please tell us what we need to know. And that was really great, so we walked all around and learned all kinds of interesting things. We had after the kickoff presentation, we had a public workshop where you and your fellow citizens gathered around tables with us, rolled up your sleeves, and did drawings. And we have now taken all of these notes on all of these maps and put them into actually legible format and learned a lot from the hopes and dreams and aspirations of those who were there. And then we've heard more throughout the time. We had also events for kids, a people-powered parade, and this Build the Town workshop where the kids got all of these supplies and made a great community. It was really fun, Vanessa tells us. And this is for all of you who don't know what an amazing town council you have. This is the first time ever in any project we've done where the entire town council has come to the public officials meeting. So this council rocks, and they're all here, and we had a great time and learned a lot. We had an interim pinup 2 nights ago, last night or the night before, yeah. And we had a great time, the chocolate social, and people were smiling and having fun. Even the younger generation came out to participate. We learned some things from the kids too. I think they've seen the Mr. Wheeler movie. They said, slow it down. Now, our transportation engineer was doing all sorts of interesting things to him and to some others, and we learned that Yarmouth's average daily traffic is nearly exactly the same as Freeport's average daily traffic on Route 1, which was amazing because we heard so many people say, you know, I really don't want to be like Freeport and stop and go, and then other people said, I really love the way Freeport handles their Route 1. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could have ours be like that? So we went out and we started to measure and do what we call synoptic surveys. The other night when I showed these, we only had done Freeport, and since then we actually have now done your town and gone through some of the most loved streets in Yarmouth and measured and documented and calculated average densities and street widths and sidewalk widths and all of the things that make up this place, the essence of this place. So as we're looking forward to the character-based zoning ordinance that will support the master plan, all of the numbers and the setbacks and things that would be included in that are based on some place that people told us they'd like to see more of as we went through. So we started to look diagrammatically